Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. If you're the type of person that likes to learn new skills, then you should click the link in the description, because the 100 first people to click gets a 2-month free trial. Today, my nerds, we will be creating something very close to my heart. As you know, we live in a time where good Wi-Fi is a privilege, and here on my desk, the Wi-Fi signal strength is best described by Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Right here, we have the router. And around this router, we have a circle of the Wi-Fi signal strength. And on this circle, here is my laptop. And at any given position around here, you can never determine where the signal strength will be at which time.
If you have good internet, don't take it for granted.
Mark this day as the day the uncertainty ends, because today in the depths of our workshop we will forge the Wi-Fi conditional light, or as I like to call it, the WC light. By the way, we still need to find a suitable name for our workshop, so if you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments. We're gonna make a device that changes color based on the observed Wi-Fi quality. To achieve this, we'll be using this WeMouse tiny Wi-Fi chip. We'll also be using a USB power delivery circuit where we can input a USB cable and get out 5 volts. And also, the most important part is the RGB LED strip. And these needs to be individually addressable. And during so many of my previous videos, people have asked me if they can use regular RGB LED strips. And the answer to that is no, you can't. You have to use... You can see the difference between the two types of LED strip here. The white one is the right one, it's the individually addressable one. The black one is the stupid or analog one, and it cannot be controlled individually, which means if you want to change the color, all of the colors has to be changed at the same time, usually via a controller interface. So basically, what I'm thinking is that we're gonna start with a wooden base, and this one is gonna be quite large. The USB connector will sit at the bottom, and in the middle there will be a hole where we can put all the electronics. Then the lampshade will be 3D printed, and for this I'm gonna use some transparent filament. And I think that will make it extra cool, as it will be very simple to replicate. And in the middle of the lampshade there will be a cylinder which we can attach the LED lights to. First things first, let's head into Fusion 360 so we can begin the 3D modeling and then start the 3D printing process. By doing the 3D printing first, we minimize the time waste so we don't have to wait for it later on. Just a quick brief on the printing process. This is the first design that you saw me make, and it's pretty good, but the problem with it is that these thick edges on the side just needs a lot of infill, and with a low percent infill you get these hard lines which will be really visible when we put the LED lights on the inside. So I made an updated kind of design where it's still in the same shape, but the edges are just square. You can see the hollowed out area is just a square, and the walls are actually just 100% filled in. So there will be no kind of lines or any unevenness. It will give off a very uniform light. But you can see the cylinder in the middle is also completely filled in, so this one took a long time to print. So to get the best of both worlds, I made a third and final design. This one is completely hollow in the middle, and the edges are a little bit thinner as well. So this one prints in about 6 hours, I think. Keep in mind I use a 0.1mm layer height. So this is the one I'll be using, and just to be sure I printed 2 of them. Maybe I'll make 2 lights. So this is the part where... Just let me get a chair. Yeah, this is a little bit too tall to sit by. So this is the part where we have to do the woodworking, and I just think woodworking is really hard, so I'm not super fond of it, but we just have to push through, we can do it together. So now with a properly sized piece of wood that has a hole in it to fit all our electronics, we can run 2 cables from the backside that goes from the power supply board and to the inside of the wood. And that's it. These are all the electronics we have to do for this build. This connector is already on the LED strip and it connects straight to the connector we attached to the Wi-Fi board. These other 2 cables we can just remove, we don't really need those for anything. Now all we have to do is to take our 3D printed lampshade or shade, and we're gonna try to attach the LED strip around the cylinder in the middle. So with the electronics in place, we are ready to put everything together. But we need some code to get this to work. If you need a starting point to learn how to code, then Skillshare is a great place to go. I've been studying computer science for about 5 years, and if there's one thing I've learned during these years of studying, is that I'm never done learning new things. Right now, I'm going through a course on Skillshare about machine learning. And machine learning is basically creating programs that learns from experience. But if you're just getting into coding, Skillshare has courses on the most significant programming languages. And I can recommend this one, which goes through the basics of Arduino. So whether it's for a school project or a business startup or even a YouTube channel, Skillshare has thousands of courses that will give you a head start. The premium memberships begins around $10 a month for unlimited access to learning. But the first 100 people who click the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial. And make sure to be one of the first few, as these spots are going to go away quickly. So our code tells the Wi-Fi chip to connect to the local network. And then it uses the observed signal strength to create a value for our RGB LED strip, and then it basically sets the color of the LED strip based on the observed signal strength. I've also made it so that whenever it's not connected but it's trying to connect, then it will pulsate in a blue light so that we know it's doing something. So what I'm gonna do now is just connect it to my computer and make sure that everything works. Also, I'll have a full code walkthrough up for our patrons at patreon.com. So I'm gonna hold this here while I connect it, and then you can see it changes color. Here we go. Trying to get a connection. And then we have a stable Wi-Fi connection because the color is green. So what we have to do next is just to place the lampshade on top, and we have to connect it to power using the power connector on the bottom and see if everything works. And if it works, then I think we're good to go. So I applied some finishing oil on the wood base, and I took the remaining cables and stuck them inside the cylinder in the middle. And finally I attached it using some hot glue. Of course, this doesn't need to be a Wi-Fi quality sensor. It's a pretty cool lamp and you could code it to show any kind of color or whatever kind of pulsating cycle you want or different colors. You have all the options in the world with these individually addressable RGB LED lights. Anyway, I really like it to be a Wi-Fi quality sensor. I think it's cool to have an LED lamp that is smart in the sense that it has another feature other than just being a lamp. Anyway, if you like this project and you like this video, then please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. We have been doing quite many LED projects lately. There's probably gonna be more in the future as well, but we're gonna try to do some other stuffs too. I think this has been a very fun and useful project, and I hope you did as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.